Shalom, all praises, glory, and honor unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Sakodash. Double honors unto the apostles and elders of the great millstone that rule well through the scriptures. Peace to hopefully elect. Just want to do a quick lesson, Lord willing, is edifying about the proper order and the role that the Most High set regarding men and women. And this basically is inspired through the Spirit about a conversation I was having with a woman. And it's like a lot of women who fancy themselves to be in the know or in the knowledge and the truth, they just dead set on being prophets or, a prophetess if you speak. Now the scripture speaks about prophetess, it speaks about Miriam, all right? But that doesn't mean that that don't mean that she was parallel with Moses and Aaron. All right? Because when you look up the word prophetess in the Hebrew, it means to sing a song. All right? And Miriam did sing a song. And you got various women in the scriptures who, like when you read about Samuel, when you read about Elkanah and his two wives, Hannah and Peninnah. When you read about 2 Samuel chapter 2, and you get to reading on down, that was a prayer that Hannah made to the Lord, speaking about the beef that she had with her sister wife, because she was barren and her sister wife wasn't. But the Lord also, that's twofold, because that applies to Jacob and Esau, all right, and who's in power and who will eventually be in power. All right, but that doesn't mean that she was equal with a prophet. All right, a prophet. Okay. Let me see. This is Micah. No, it's Malachi. I'm sorry. Malachi chapter 2 and 7. It says, "For the priest's lips should keep knowledge." Priest, prophet, pastor, teacher, however you want to call it, those were all men in the Bible. The priestly order regarding the Levites were men. It says, "And they should seek the law at his mouth, for he," not he/she. It says, "For he is the messenger of Yahweh of hosts." All right, so that's something that's the order that the Most High gave to men. All right, when you read about the scriptures in Ezekiel, it said, "Ye are and ye pasture of my flock are men." Okay, even in when you read in Revelation, it says, "And the tabernacle of the Most High is with men." All right, that's just part of the order that the Lord set up. When you read in Corinthians, it go the Most High, his son, the man, the woman, the child. But then you always got people trying to usurp authority. You got the children waxing proudly against the parents. You got the woman waxing proudly against the man. You got various men in the truth waxing proudly against Yahushai. All right, saying that he's equal, he's not worthy to be worshipped, etc. But that's not okay. All right, now part of that conversation, you think about Eve, or you think about the various biblical figures. Those people were much more stronger and righteous than the average person today. All right, when you read Ezra, let's get Second Ezra's Hey, how you doing, brother? Let's get Second Ezra's 4. No. Let's get Second Ezra's 5 and 2. It says, "But iniquity shall be increased above that which now thou seest, or that thou hast heard long ago." All right. So iniquity meaning sin upon sin, as the ages play out, and the earth get older and men live more and more and more, this place become more and more and more and more wicked. All right, you look at your grandparents and how they behave, and you look at their grandparents, and you know, people were more in line with the scriptures then than now. So what makes these modern women think that they're special above the women in the scripture? The scripture says the women of old time, all right, uh, 1 Peter 3 and 5, it says, for after this manner in the old time, the holy women, so back in the day, the righteous women, also who trusted in the Most High, adorned themselves, being in subjection unto their own husbands. So that's what makes a woman righteous. That's your office. All right, it's when people get to trying to operate outside of their office when things go awry. Every finger on your hand cannot be a thumb. All right. People think about how insignificant the pinky is or the pinky toe, but that deals with balance. All right, and the family structure under the Most High, under that authority, everything got to play its role for it to be properly balanced. All right, that's why you got so much confusion. Babylon, which is America, aka Babylon the Great is America. Babylon means confusion, mixture. The word confusion means mixed with, mean with, fusion mean mixed. So it's with mixture. Everything is just mixed in. There's no separation. There's no yes and no. It's just one big maybe. That's what America is. One big maybe. One big probably. You know, it ain't no yes, no, left, right, up, down. It's everything. Even so much now that you got so-called women that liken themselves to be godly or whatever, not, you know, just remaining in that role of a godly woman, being a subject to their husband, or just, you know, reading the scripture. First of all, understanding your role as a woman. All right, why you got to be so deep? Why you got to get the understanding and doing all this leading and teaching and all of that? Why you can't just understand the role as a woman first? All right. And the scripture says, I suffer a woman not to teach, nor to usurp authority over a man. That's the Christian church, evangelists. That's what they liken themselves. They call themselves evangelists. But when the scripture says do the work of evangelists, that's talking about men. All right. And I'm gonna close out with this point. Let me see. Dealing with Eve, because what makes you women think you better than the biblical women? All right, the scripture speaks about the daughters of Sarah. What makes you women think you on par or above Sarah, Esther, Judith? Now, this point I'm grabbing is it's to make a comparison with Eve, because yeah, Eve went off. Yeah, but people were much stronger back in that time than now. So you got people saying, well, Eve went off. You can't. You would have went off. You would have went right on. You would have went clean off. Worse than Eve. The scripture says the world is much more wicked now than when it was then. And even she went off. So how much more you as a woman? Us men of the Lord, us aspiring prophets, the hopeful elect, we don't compare ourselves to Jeremiah and Isaiah and Esdras, Job. We much weaker than those men. The scripture says the world has gotten weaker through age. All right, but through the reincarnation, we are some of those men, some of those apostles, elders, leaders, some of those great men. The scripture says in Daniel that in the last days you shall stand in your light. All right, But you don't get people. You don't. Oh, that was Job. I wouldn't. If I was Job, I wouldn't. I wouldn't have complained about what the Most High was doing to me. If no, that's ignorance. But anyway, it says 1 Timothy 2:14. It's verse 10. But which becometh women professing godliness with good works. Let the woman learn in silence with all subjection. So just sit back and learn. All right, if you teach, and if you if you know enough to teach, well then you teach other women how to be women and how to be silent and how to be affectionate to their children and husbands. First and foremost, the husbands and the children. But I suffer number one to teach, pardon me, but I suffer not a woman to teach, nor to usurp authority over the man, but to be in silence. Scripture says a silent and loving woman is a gift from the Lord. All right? It says, for Adam was first formed, then Eve. And Adam was not deceived, but the woman being deceived was in transgression. All right? So Eve transgressed. All right? And the modern woman ain't nowhere near Eve, and even Eve went off. So basically, how dare you? You know? But anyway, hopefully, Lord willing, this was an edifying lesson to the hopefully elect. Call Halayim La Yahweh by Shem Yahweh Shai by Shem Kafadah Shalom. A Bible ball.